Hello, hello. Welcome back to another puzzle solve. I'm recording this as Winter Storm Finn is kind of nailing Chicago, so apologies if I can't get the sound of sleet hitting my house out of the recording. I think it should be okay, but if not, that's what's going on. Coincidentally, my son is also named Finn and loves that the storm seems to be named after him. It's been the highlight of his week. So anyway, today's puzzle is by Dorlir. I don't think I've done any of their puzzles on this channel yet, but I've done a number of their puzzles. Dorlir is a very good constructor. A particular puzzle that was recent of theirs, I think it's called the Slowest Snake, was quite excellent. Maybe I'll link to that as well in the description of the video, so you can give that one a try too. If whether you like this puzzle or not, it's a very different puzzle than this one, and it's really great. But anyway, onto this puzzle. This is a skyscraper puzzle. So each of these question marks represents a skyscraper clue. So what's a skyscraper clue? Skyscrapers look at all of the digits in either the row, if it's a row clue, or in the column, if it's a column clue, right? And imagines that they represent buildings of a height equal to the digit in question. So let's say I had this row was made up of the digits, let's say 3, 4, 6, 5, 1, 7, 2, 9, 8. What I would do is I would go down, in this case, the column and say, okay, well, this building is size 3. So from here, I can see the height 3 building. The height 4 building, I can see because it's higher than 3. So even though it's behind the 3 building, it's higher, so I can see that one. So that's another building I can see. I can also see the 6. I can't see the 5, however, because 5 is smaller than 6. I can't see the 1. 1 is smaller than 6. I can see 7. I can't see 2. I can see the 9. And I can't see the 8. Right, so in this case, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings. So this would have a skyscraper clue of 5. So that is how to think about a skyscraper clue. There are a couple, tricks is not quite the right word, a couple corollaries to the rule set that are often quite useful when thinking about these skyscraper clues, and they usually have to thinking about either how large or how small a clue can be given what a digit is. So for example, suppose I had a 4 placed here. Well, that would actually tell me that the largest I could possibly make this clue is, well, if I basically go one higher from 4, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they don't have to be exactly in this placement, right? They do have to be in this order in the sense that 5 has to come before 6, 6 has to come before 7, etc. But I have 1, 2, 3 here that I can intersperse anywhere. So I could have 4, 1, 2, 1, 5, 6, 7, 3, 8, 9. It could be something like this. But I need to have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in that order to make this as large as it can be. And if I did that, I would see that this could be size 6. So basically, if I have a digit at the start, that tells me how the largest I could possibly make this skyscraper clue. Or, so let's say I had 1, 4. Now I've got skyscraper up to 2 with the 4. So now I can get up to 7. Because again, I could do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the most I can make that is 7. Conversely, if I know something about this, like let's say I knew that this were only a 3, say, or maybe higher, make it a 6. What that tells me is I need at least 6, and that tells me something about where the high digits can be, right? So I can't put I can't put a 5 here, because then the highest I could make the skyscraper clue is a 5, right? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Would make this a 5. So I can't put a 5 here or anything higher than a 5. That's going to be right out. I also can't put really high digits. Like I can't put a 9, for example, anywhere in here because wherever I put the 9, that's the end of the skyscraper chain. There's nothing higher than 9. So wherever I put the 9, that kind of ends it. So I could put a 9 here, right, if I had some set of increasing digits up to the 9. But I can't put 9 anywhere, and that would still be size 6. But I can't put a 9 here because no matter what I put here, the most I can get is a 5. right? And similarly, I couldn't put an 8 here, or a 7 here, or a 6 here, or a 5 here. So you get these kind of chains like that in these skyscraper puzzles that can be very useful. So that's skyscrapers. There are Kropke dots, which I've done on the channel a bunch, but they are digits around a black Kropke dot have to be, one has to be double the other. Around a white Kropke dot, the two digits have to be consecutive. And if you weren't sure why those skyscraper clues would be useful since they're question marks, it's because I haven't told you why they could be useful yet. The additional restriction on these skyscraper clues is that these question marks are not just anything. Well, they are anything, but they're all different, right? I've got 9 question marks here, and they represent each of the digits from 1 to 9. So the way we're going to get this, any kind of traction in this puzzle, is to think about how I can place the digits 1 to 9 in these skyscraper clues and still have something that works, in addition to these Kropke dots. So that's the puzzle. I've had that idle for a while, so I'm just going to restart time so I know how long I'm taking. And let's think about it. Let's do it. So as I was setting up the puzzle, I couldn't exactly think about where they could go, but it seems like the obvious place to start is on the most restrictive skyscraper clue. I mean, I can think about the Kropke dots, but I don't think there's anything, I don't have enough in a row or column or box to really see anything meaningful. So it's got to be these skyscraper clues. And the most restrictive skyscraper clue is 9, because there's only one way that I can get a skyscraper clue of 9, right? What is that way? So there's no skyscraper clue here, but suppose that we're on this. Clearly, let's say here. So suppose that we're a 9. How would I be able to see 9 buildings right here? Well, I have to be able to see every single cell. So there's only 9 cells. I have to see every single cell. And they have to be increasing. So the only way to do that is start at 1 and go right on up. So wherever this 9 goes, I'm going to end up with the digits 1 to 9 in some order. And I'm hoping there's only one place that will work, or maybe one of 2 places, so that I can get some type of restriction on where 9s, I can get some digits in the puzzle. That's my hope. And because we have them in the row and column, I'm just going to go clockwise around and see if that works. So can I put the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here? And the only reason I couldn't, as far as I can tell, is these Kropke dots. So as I go around, I'm just going to be thinking about these Kropke dots. I mean, I guess there could be some weird interaction with the skyscraper clues. I mean, yeah, I think that would be very, very hard. I mean, I don't know how hard this puzzle is because it hasn't been solved by enough people yet, but I'm guessing that Dorlir, based on their previous puzzles, would not require some pretty advanced look ahead on the skyscraper. We'll find out, but I'm guessing these Kropke dots are going to restrict it. And in fact, this Kropke dot does tell me that neither of these can be that 9 skyscraper clue. So, well, if it's not clear to you why yet, maybe pause the video and try it. Right? Try putting it there and see what happens. And hopefully you have either paused the video or you see it. And what happens if you do that is, I get this, and then I put a 9 on this white Kropke dot. And the only thing that can go across from a 9 on a white Kropke dot is an 8, because I can't put a 10 there. And then I get 2 8s in the box, and that breaks. So I can't put 9 in I, and then I'm going to get the exact same problem here. 7, 8, 9. 9 pairs with the 8. I get 8s, 2 8s in the box. So neither of these can be the 9 clue. Can this be the 9 clue? Well, no. It also can't be the 9 clue. And again, it's because of this Kropke dot. Because if I try to put a 9 here, what do I put across from it? I can't put 4.5 and I can't put 18. So 9 doesn't work here. What about this one? That one I think is okay. So hopefully that's the only one that's okay, right? So if I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 is on a dot, but I can put a 3 there, no problem. Maybe we'll end up with something weird where I can't do this because of these set. Yeah. Well, let's just, so this is okay. I don't see a reason I can't do that yet. Let's try the downs. Hopefully there's nothing down that works. So does this work? This one doesn't work either. It's a little harder to see. So again, I mean, if you don't see it, then the only way you can, if you don't see it, then just put it in the grid and see if it works, and you'll see that it won't, right? So why doesn't that work? It doesn't work because of this Crop dot here. I mean, I guess I could have kept going and worried about this one, but that one works because I could put a 6 here. That's fine. The problem comes here, right? What do I put here? I can't put 4 or 6 because this is kind of in the middle of this box. I get both the previous and subsequent digit. Neither of them can then go in the box there. So I can't do it in that column. Here, fairly straightforwardly, I can't put 7, 8 around this Crop dot, so that's not going to work. Here, exact same situation as here actually, where I need a 1, 2, 3 here, but because 1 and 3 are both taken, I can't, and this is kind of in the middle of this box, and so I see both the previous and subsequent digits. I can't do the white Crop dot there. Neither of these work because I can't put a 7 on a Crop dot, right? If I use either of these, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that 7 is not going to work. So it has to go here. That's good. I get something, that's a 3, and then this is a 9. I wonder how they did that, how they made the box highlight like that. That's cool. Anyway, that is the first placement. And then this is either 1, 2 with 7, 8, 9, or I guess 8 with 7 or 9 and 1, 2 down here. Yeah, I don't know how to pencil mark that in a meaningful way. So I'm just going to try to think about that and how that might affect these boxes. As I think about what these skyscraper clues could be. So actually I know this skyscraper clue. I probably should have just started here immediately. So think about it for a second. It's a 2, right? Why is it a 2? Well, it can't be less than 2 because I don't have 9 yet here. So the only way to get a 1 on the skyscraper clue, in fact, I know that 1 is going to be in one of these because none of these can be 1. The only way to get a 1 in a skyscraper clue is to start with the highest digit. The highest digit is a 9, which is not on a skyscraper clue going down in columns. So it's going to have to be in the rows somewhere. So none of these are 1. It can't be any more than 2 for kind of the reason that we talked about at the start, which is that the highest this can be is 2 because I have 8. The next highest digit is 9. So whenever I see the 9, that's going to be the second one, and there's nothing higher than that. So that's 2. And actually that means I know what this is. You kind of have to chain the logic a little bit, but I do know what the skyscraper clue is. Maybe pause the video here if you don't see it right away and think about what this digit has to be, because I'm guessing this kind of logic is going to carry forward a lot through the puzzle. So this is a fairly easy version of it. So this has to be a 3. So why does this have to be a 3? Well, it can't be 1 for the reason this can't be 1, right? And you have 7, there's a 9 somewhere, so it's got to be at least 2. It can't be 2 either, but the reason it can't be 2 is not anything to do with the skyscraper clue itself, because ignoring the rest of the puzzle, this easily could be a 2. I could have 7, put a 9 here, and an 8 down here. We're golden, right? 7, we'll see the 9 clue, that would be the second. The 8 won't be anywhere in between, so this would be a 2 clue. But I can't have a 2 clue here. Why not? Because it's already taken in this one, and all the question marks have to be different. Right? I need 1 of each of the numbers from 1 to 9 in these 9 question marks. So it can't be 2. So it has to be at least 3. It also can't be more than 3, because again, the highest I can make this is 7, and maybe I see the next highest building, which is 8. And I also see the next highest building, which is 9, and that's as far as I can go. So the most it could be is 3. We get an additional restriction, which is that 8 is going to be before 9 in this column somewhere. None of them are going to be in this box, but I'm not going to pencil mark that. I just know one of these is 8, and one of these is 9, and 9 comes after the 8. Let's try to remember that. There. Okay, what about here? So I don't know this exactly, but I can narrow it down to 2 digits actually, right? So for the same reasoning we did over here, it's got to be at least 4, because it's not 1, it's not 2 or 3, it's got to be at least 4. But the most it could be is 5. For the same reason the most this can be is 3, right? If I start placing digits, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I started here because 6 can't go in the box here. So we do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's only 5. So the most it could be here is a 5. So that's it. That is the most it could be. And I'm trying to think, there's a reason it can't be 5. It can't be 5. It can't be 5. It's a 4. Right, so why can't it be 5? This is kind of hard to see, actually. So we said, so in order to be 5, it's got to see all the digits 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if that's true, these digits have to both be less than 6, right? They can't be more than 6, because that would break the fact that I need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to get to 5. So it's got to be less than 6, but almost all the digits less than 6 are taken in the box. So this would have to be a 1-2 pair, which is fine by itself, but this crop Q dot means that won't work, because now what do I put here? Well, I can't put 1, 2, because that would break this. I can't put 2, 1, same reason. I can't put 2, 3, because the 3 is taken. So this would have to be, I mean, these 3 would just be the remaining digits, 7, 8, 9, and there's no way I'm going to make these consecutive. So it just doesn't work. I can't make that a 5, so it's got to be a 4. I almost said that means that these have to be a high and low digit, but that's not true, right? I could have 5, 7, 8. Wait, oh no. Does that work? Hold on. If this is, so if these are, I'm trying to think, can these both be high? They certainly can't both be low, because then I get a high digit here, and then I get a low and a high across. Can these both be high? If they're both high, it's got to be 7, 8, right? Because if they're both high at 7, 8, because 6 is taken, and so I can't have 8 here, because that would break this 4 clue, because I have 5, 8, I have 9 somewhere, but that's it. That ends the skyscraper chain. So it's got to be 5, 7. I can't have 9 here, same reason, 5, 7, 9. Break the chain. It's going to be 5, 7, 8. But then what do I put here? Nothing, because 6 and 8 will be taken. So I can't have 2 lows. I can't have 2 highs. So these are a low digit and a high digit. And the high digit has to be 7. So one of those is a 7. And the other one is a 1 or a 2. So why does the high digit have to be a 7? Suppose I try to put an 8 here or here without, and knowing that the other one's a low digit. That would mean the skyscraper chain becomes 5, 8 somewhere, and then a low digit, which is not going to be seen. So that's only 2 buildings I've seen so far. And then the only thing higher than 8 is 9. That would give me a third. But that finishes the skyscraper chain. I can't get to 4. So if this is 7, this is 8. If this is 1, 2, this is also 1, 2. If this is 7, these become 8, 9, or they're 1, 2. But either way, I get a 9 here, which hopefully will be useful. It is useful, actually, because I see right now immediately that these 9s are going to mean that one of these is a 9. Oops. But neither of these can be a 9. Why not? Because if they were, that would make these skyscraper chains 2. Because once you hit the 9, that's it for your chain. That's the highest building. You're not going to see anything past that. So once you see 9, that's the end. We'll have seen 2 buildings. These will become, wherever the 9 is, that would make that a 2. We've already gotten a 2. So neither of these can be 9, which means the 9 is here. I'm trying to think what these can be. So 9s are not here. This one could be 8. This one could be 7. I mean, they can't be both 7 and 8, but right, if this were 7, they'd have to be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in some order. 3, 4, 5. Then the lowest this could be, sorry, the highest this skyscraper chain could be then is 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, which would be 5, but that's okay actually. So this could be as high as 7. So this is somewhere between 5 and 7. This is somewhere between 5 and 8. Oh no, it can't be 8 actually, because 2 and 3 are taken here. So the kind of best I can do here, the lowest I can make this, the highest I can make this skyscraper clue using low digits is to go 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in some order. 2 and 3 will be buried somewhere in between, and that's only length 7 actually. So there's no 8 here. So one of these actually is an 8. It's not 5, 8. And it's an 8 without a 1 here. So one of these is an 8 skyscraper clue. So to get an 8 skyscraper clue, I basically need almost all the digits from 1 to 9 in order, but one digit can be in the wrong place. And it has to go to the right of where it's supposed to be, right? So you can think of, they're basically, well, no, there's more than that. So, well, it's basically, I want to say it's 36 ways you can do it, but it doesn't matter. There's one kind of way of thinking. There's lots of ways to do it, but there's kind of one method of turning this into an 8 skyscraper clue, which is I take one of these digits, right, and move it somewhere to the right. So I could move this one kind of in between, so something like that, right? That would work. I could move this 4, say to here, and move everything else back, right? So I can move one digit somewhere to the right, and that preserves the 8 chain. Oh, but I actually have 1 and 9 at the extremes both taken already. So there's actually only one way to make this 8 clue work. So maybe, I wonder how long I've known that. That seems very restrictive, and that like I could, we'll see if we can place it. But basically, the only way to make that work, so I don't have a 1 here. So the 1 is the thing that's moved to the right. So this puzzle is going to look something like 2, 3, 4, this row is going to look something like 2, 3, 4, 5. Somewhere in here there's going to be a 1, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. Now the problem is I can't have a 9 at the end because of the 9 I already have placed. So I'm actually going to have to move the 1 all the way to the end. So I'm going to end up with a row that looks like this. Now the question is, where can I place this? I can place it here. That's fine. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 8. It'd have to be 8 because the 2 would be here. 2, 3, 4, 8. That's okay. 9, 1, 2. That's okay. That's okay. So actually, I can't. I was hoping it's just as restrictive as this was, but there are more places I can put it. But I do know that 1 is going to go in one of these cells. I'm going to mark this with, again, the trick friend of the channel, Abdul the Killer, taught me, which is to use letters instead of numbers, so you know it's not a typical corner box clue. So one of these is a 1, and there's going to be on a Kropke dot with a 2. Whether it's black or white, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have a 2, which I'm calling B, across the box, somewhere here. Let's see. So then it's either 1 or 8, and then sum of 5, 6, 7. So which way does this go? Let's think about this again for a minute. Because I have a lot of markings here, but not, okay, actually no, there's an easier way to think about it. I saw something when thinking about how there's kind of 2 general ways these can go around, and I was thinking about how that affects this box, but this is actually an easier way of thinking about it, which is that, where do I put 8 in this box? And the answer is not in either of the skyscraper clues. Because even if I put it at the end, say I put an 8 here, the highest I can now make this skyscraper clue is 4, because I have 1, something higher than 1, that's my second building, 8, which is higher than that, that's my third building. Somewhere down here I'll have a 9, but that's the only building left higher than 8. So I can only have 4 possible buildings in this chain, and 4 is gone. So I can't put an 8 in the skyscraper clue. It's got to go here, which means 8 is not in this row, which means it's in box 2, it's in this row. We already, because of this 4 clue, decided it's not here. So that's my 8, actually. And that's my 7. That's not 7. So these are now 9, 1, 2. How does that help me? So I'm thinking about this box here still. 1, 2 are gone. Actually, I get a weird 1, 2 pair here because 1 and 2 are taken in the column and they're taken now in the row here. So that's I wonder if that's important. So what's left here? 4, 5, and 6. So 7 is going to go here somewhere. And that 7 is going to have to go with the 5 clue. Right, so one of these has to be a 5 because, or I guess I could have gotten that just from knowing that I can't put a 7 here, obviously because of this 7, but I also couldn't put a 7 here because of the skyscraper clues. If I had a 7, the highest I could get this is a 4, right? Whether it's 1 or 3. You could have 7, 8, 9 after that. That's a max 4 skyscraper chain. So there's no, they couldn't have a 7 here. Once I place this 4, these couldn't be 7. I'd have to have a 7 here. And wherever I put that 7, that's going to put a 5. Because the highest I could be is, where it doesn't matter if it's 1 or 3. Something higher than that, 7, 8, 9. That's a length 5 chain. Could the other one be 6 is what I'm wondering now. So in order to be 6, how do I make that 6? Because, yeah, no, the lowest this could be is 5, right? Because I can't put 4 down here. I can't put 4 down here, or 4 is going to have to go here. Because if I put 4 down here, what happens is I end up with 1 or 3, it doesn't matter. Something higher than that, 4, which will be less than that, so that won't count. So the lowest this could be is 5. So 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, no, that does work actually. No, sorry, I take that back. It could be a 4. Yeah, I could have 1, 6. Okay, 1, 5, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's like 5 now. Oh no. Well, that's weird. Could I squeak out a 6? 1, 5, 4. That's 2 clues. 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 6 clues. Yeah, I could just barely squeak it out. I could have 5, 6 here. If I put a 4 down here, I could just make this a 5, 6. Yeah, so that works. So maybe I have to think down here. Maybe one of these can't be 7 for some reason. So one of these, whatever is the 8 clue, I'm just going to write this here so I think about what that might look like, is going to have this set of 9 digits in this order, right? In that row somewhere. So if I try to make this a 7, how do I do that? I think it's going to have to go, I'm going to have to start with 3. Right? I'm going to have to start with 3 because that's the lowest I can start with. And if I start with any higher than 3, I can't get to 7. So it would have to go 3 at the start. And then I have to have all the digits 4 to 9 in order. But 9 is taken up by the last 2 columns here. So I'd have to have 9 in this box. Again, not in this row, but it has to be in this column, column 7. Because wherever I put the 9 otherwise, like if I try to put the 9 here, that ends the skyscraper chain. So the longest it could be is 6. So I try to put a 7 here as well. The 9 is going to have to go here. And I'm going to get 1, 2 over here. In fact, I would know the order it goes in. Oops, 1, 2. And then I have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So what's the problem with that? Is there a problem with that? So, I mean, these are next to each other because I just placed them to visually. And obviously, they can't be in the same box as each other, right? I'd have to put one in kind of these 3 rows. So one would have to go here, and then one would have to go down here, because these would be in separate boxes, because otherwise I end up with 4s and 3s, as all these numbers seeing each other in the box, if I try to put them both down here. But I also have this 1 and 2 here, and I know that 1 and 2 have to go across the Crafty dots in this row. So to make that work, I would need to have them in the same box. Right, so I can't do it here and here, because then I have 1 and 2 separated, and they have to be next to each other in a Crafty dot. I also can't put them next to each other down here, because that would, just like I have them here, have digits that see each other in the box. It's kind of complicated, but I'm sure that's right. Which is all to say that I can't put a 7 here, because actually there's a much easier way to see this, which I'm sure you saw before I did, which is that this doesn't work because I already have a 7 in the column. That's much simpler. I bet that was what was intended there. So that doesn't work, because in order to have a 7 in the clue and an 8 in the clue, I would need to have that row be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and in fact 1, 2. The 7 sees the 7, so that doesn't work. So I can't have a 7 here. So these are in fact from 1, 6, and 8. Let's see, 1. And so these can't be from 6. These are from 5 and 7. And before I said, in order to get a 4 down here, I can just barely squeak that out with a 5 and 6, right? But now it's 5 and 7, so that's not going to work. Right, so to get the 5 clue, so to get the 7 clue, the only way to get a 7 clue is to have, whether it's 1 or 3, doesn't matter, that clue, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That'll just get me to 7, with a 2 in either 1 or 3, whichever one's missing, interspersed in between. So in some order, these are going to be 4, 5, and 6, 7. I don't know which is which, but I do know there's kind of 2 pairs. So I'm going to mark that like this, where, whoops, one way. Well, I'm going to switch these because I like having the smaller digit in the top. So one of these is going to be a 4, 5 pair, and one of these is going to be a 6, 7 pair in the columns. I just don't know which is which yet. And the 6, 7 pair is going to go with the 5, and the 4, 5 pair is going to go with a 7. Yes. So now that means this is 5, and these are 3, 4, 6 in some order, all of which are still lower than these. So I just know that 8 is less than 9. 8 comes before 9, I mean, in these columns. 8 comes before 9 in this column. One of these is going to be 6, 7, 8, 9 in some order. Actually, where do I put 9 here? Is there some reason that one of these can't be 9 because of like these clues? Actually, maybe this can't. Yeah, this can't be 9 because of this clue. Yeah, this can't be 9, right? Because if this were a 9, what would I do here? That ends this skyscraper chain. That makes that a 4. So this can't be. This has to be at least 5. So that doesn't work. So that's not a 1. So one of these is definitely a 1 with a 9 there. Which means 9 in this column, the furthest away it could possibly be is here. And that only gives me a skyscraper of at most length 6. So this can't be the 7. That's the 5. That's the 7. The 7 goes with 4, 5. 5 goes with 6, 7. The 9 actually has to go in one of those spots to make this chain at least 5. The 8 has to go before it. Everything else is wild card. So this skyscraper is basically done. This I have 6, 7, 8, 9 in some order, where the 9's actually down here. And 2, 3 interspersed anywhere in between. But this is a pretty high skyscraper number, so I can't put a 6 even here. Because if this were 6, the best I could do is 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be a 4 chain, which is too small. So this is one of the low digits. So 6 is going to be in one of these. 7, or 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's a 2, 3 somewhere in between. And actually, the 2, 3 is going to go, yeah, and in whichever of these other ones is not the 9. So actually, I know this is 6, 7, 8, and this is adjacent, so that's got to be 5. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 kind of place. What's left is 1, 2, 3, 4. This one can't be 2. So 6 and 7 have to go here. This one's not 6. This one can't be 9 because the 9's taken. So actually that's the 7. And then I've got 1, 3, or 4 missing here. Wait, hold on. The 2 goes with the 8, which could be either of these. So my 3 is going to go with the 6 clue. And I can't go 3, 6 on a 6 clue because 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 only gets me to 5. So one of these is going to be a 9, 6 setup, and the other one's going to be 3, and then either 1 or 4. So 3 is actually definitely going to go, no, it could go this way, sorry. 3, yeah, or it could be 2, 3, and then the 3 up here, sorry. I almost did a bad thing, but I didn't. I caught myself. Normally I just write it and then find out 10 minutes later that I broke the puzzle. So what's missing here? There's something from some low digit here. 5 actually has to go. Where does 5 go? Not on this dot. So 5 goes here. And then this is not, what is this pair? It's not 4, 8 because this 8's gone. It's not 3, 6. So there's a 2 here with either 1 or 4. There's no 3 here. Oh, the 3's here actually. So the other 1 or 4 goes here. More importantly, the 2 here means neither of these are 2, which means that's the 2. And that tells me this whole sequence, because this is now the 8 skyscraper clue. 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. So that's the 2. Goes with it. 3 is now taken. These have to be 8, 9. Yeah, that's 1. That's 8, 9. These aren't 4. That's a 1, 2 pair. So what's the missing digit here? That's got to be 4. Yeah, so one of these is 3, 4. One of these is 9, 6. And this is length 6. So I could end up with a 9 actually either of these places, unfortunately. As I pause and think about what to do, I'll just say that this puzzle has been really quite fascinating, actually, in terms of how the steps build on each other. I don't think any step has been so outlandishly hard, but it's nonetheless surprising. That's what I'll say. That's kind of my favorite kind of puzzle. I mean, I like really hard puzzles too, but puzzles that are surprising yet not terribly difficult are just really nice. They're just fun to do. So what goes on this Kropke dot? I could have 1, 2. I could have 2, 3, I guess. 3, 4 in any order. I can't have 8, 9 because it's 8. So actually this is low. That's something at least. This one's not 1. This one's not 2. Otherwise, it's kind of whatever. So that means 7 is, well, I guess from sudoku, 7 is going to go down here somewhere. And this could go with the 6 clue. I could have 3, 4. Well, I can't do it if it's here. 3, 4, 7, 8, 9. But I can do 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. That would be okay. So 7, if 7 is with the 6 clue, it's down here. If 7 is not with the 6 clue, this could be 3, 4, 6, Oh, how does that, could this be the sixth clue? How would this be the sixth clue? I'd have 3, then 4. I could skip both of these. Or I could do 1, 2 here as a pair. But then, what do I put here? I can only do 8, right? And then I get 3, 4, 8, 9. That's not good. Or sorry, yeah. No, I could do 5. 3, 4, 5. And then what do I do here? I'm skipping 6, 7 here. 3, 4, 5, 8, 9. So that doesn't work if I try to skip this. If I don't skip this, what do I put there? At least 6. So 3, 4, 6. 7s are taken for a while. So I have to go then to 8. 9. But that's also only 5. So I don't think this can't be the 6th clue. This has to be the 1 clue. Which makes that the 9. This is my 3, 4, 5. That's the 6. It doesn't tell me anything about the 1, 2 pair. And now, how do I complete this? 1, 2 is gone, and 9 is gone. So I knew that so the way I think about skyscrapers is there's some chain of digits that are the skyscrapers, that are, the digits in order. And then I have these extra low digits interspersed throughout that kind of break up the chain. Now, I knew that the end was going to have to be one of those low digits because it's not 9. Anything after a 9 is one of those low digits that gets thrown off. So now, what are the low digits in this chain? Well, it's definitely 1 and 2 because I start with a 3. And then it's something else between 3 and 9. Actually, between 3 and 8. You can't throw off the 9. Something between 3 and 8 is going to be ignored at the end. Now, I know this is an ignored clue because it's not 9. It's after 9. It's got to be an ignored clue. So the ignored digit here, it's not 1 or 2 because those are already taken here. And so it's got to be whatever's missing from this chain, which is not 3, 4, or 5. So this has to be 6, 7, or 8. So that means that whatever is left is the digits 1 and 2, or 3, 4, 5, some combination of 6, 7, 8 in order, 2 of those digits, and then the digit 9. 9 can't go here either. So this is also a thrown off digit, right? This is not part of the skyscraper chain. Since this is length 6, between 3 and 9, I can only get rid of one of those digits. So this has to be one of the low 1 or 2 digits. So now I have a 1, 2 pair here in column 8, which is amazing. I don't know if it'll help me, but it's just like a very cool turn. Actually, let's just do some sudoku. I can place 7 here. That makes this 3. I have it 1, 2, 8. That makes this a 3, 6 pair. This, what's left now is 4, 5. So that's not 4. This is not 3 anymore. So this is even. So that has to be odd. So these are 1. 5 is not here. Oh, 5 is here. So 4, 5. So now I know what these digits are. What are they? They're 1, 3, 9. And so these are 2, 4, 8. 3 is not here. Does that mean anything? 8 has to come before 9. So this is 9. 8 doesn't come before it. It has to come before 9 in this setup. So this can't be 9 here. So that's 9. Which means I get the 9 up here. 9 is somewhere here. But this isn't 9 because of the 6th clue. So that's my 9. 8 has to come before it. The only place I can put 8 before it is there. Could this be 1, 2? If this is 1, 2, no, because this is 6, 7, 8. So everything in the chain now is here. So this is the extra 1, 2. So this is 6 or 7. This is 7 or 8, and this is 9. And then whatever digit is missing from here goes here. So that is my skyscraper clue completed, essentially. This skyscraper clue is done. This skyscraper clue is done. These are all done. This is done. 7, 8, 9 is done. 8, 9 is done. So my skyscraper clues are done. It's just Sudoku now. Can I finish my Sudoku? This 6, 7, 8 goes with... it could be 5. No, it can't be 5 because that's gone here. This 6 is gone. So this is 7 or 8. So there's definitely a 7 here. What goes here? Not 1, 2, but I think that's the only thing it's not. Not 4, 8 actually either. So it's either 2, 4 or 3, 6. And it's not 2, 4 this way because of this 4. Here I've got a 1, 2 pair. So this, and here's a 3, 4, 6 triple that makes this a 5. That places a 5 here. I have 2 meters here. 7 makes that 8. This is an 8. This is 1, 2, or 4. Do I know anything about? I must know. No, I don't know. I don't know anything about 1, 2, or 4s. This is 1, 2, 3 triple. Actually, that's 1, 2 pair leading to that 3, 1, 2, 4. There we go. That's also now a 1, 2 pair. Looking at this column, which is just missing a 4. Just missing a 4. 1, 2. So missing 3, 6, and 7 here. No 6, no 7. Sorry. No 7, no 6. Here's a 1, 2 pair. So this is 3, 7, and 8. Now that 8 makes, or 7 makes that 3. There we go. 7, 6, 3. I think we're done now. 3 means this isn't 3, 6. So it is 2, 4. That makes this. What does that make this? 6. 1, 2, 1, 2. Just filling in what's left here. I think that's it. Let's check. We did it. Great. Really good puzzle over there. Thank you for setting that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on Thursday. Bye.